Hello viewers from around the world, you're welcome to today's Issues in the News on 9 News Nigeria. Of course, my name is Nsidibe, your regular presenter. And today we will be looking at very topical and trendy news making rounds our dear nation. The program is going to take a very new dimension in today's edition. And in the house today, we have our in-house guests, Nnah Douglas.
Nsidibe, thank you for having me here.
You're welcome, Nnah.
Thank you.
So as we mark the anniversary of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his 1 year's administration, it is an opportune moment for us to sit back and reflect on the significant policies implementations and their impacts on Nigerians. We will be taking a look at a few topical news, reading them to the hearing of Nigerians, and you will be reacting to them. So it is the first anniversary of President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Has Nigerians' hope been truly renewed?
Well, your guess is as good as mine. As you know, you observe what is happening in the country today. When we talk about a renewed hope agenda, one thing is very clear. It is easy to bring a very wonderful caption, renewed hope agenda. But in practical terms, is the hope of the common man renewed? In practical terms, I will tell you no. Because taking a look at what is happening in the country today, what was the price of rice, a bag of rice, before the coming of this administration? What was the price of PMS per liter before the coming of this administration? 1 year in office, what are the, how are Nigerians feeling the situation right now? Hot, cool, or how do, because when people are lamenting, a whole lot of things are not going right. Now the reforms, of course, when you hear some people, they say, it's a good reform, but how is it reflecting on the life of the common man?
That is where we would like to go to the Vox Pop and let us hear the voice of ordinary Nigerians.
This administration has not been favorable unto many, especially we the masses. Like me that I run business, for the past 9 months now that this president has been in office, it has been a stressful business journey. Unlike before, the materials that we used to get for 3,000, sometimes 2,500, but now it has skyrocketed to like 7,000, and we find it hard to even buy new stock into our shops, and to even hire sales girl now. It has been stressful. So we run the business on our own by ourselves.
There is some level of quality decisions in terms of the subsidy removal. That was a promise made initially and was fulfilled. But basically, what was wrong about it, the measures, compensation benefits for the subsidy removal were not in place. We were only struggling as a consuming economy. So there were no alternative options to source of energy. That virtually brought severe hardship to our daily lives. We've been challenged again by forex fluctuations within the economy. That has really affected severely on the economy and the life of Nigerian citizens.
Tinubu, he was a two-time governor, a governor for 2 terms, but he was not a president. So he performed very well. That's why some people, voted for him, because they thought he would perform the magic he did in Lagos at the federal level. Nevertheless, when he came in, things have changed. The first announcement of removal of petroleum subsidy threw everybody in shock, and we are still recovering. I believe before 4 years we would have finished recovery.
When the president came there, he's supposed to seek opinion of other members. He cannot just remove the meat subsidies. Remove subsidies have been a talk on the flesh of the peoples in the town. It's affecting us badly. But things are not going well. Anywhere you go, see people, even transportation is obvious. Anywhere you go, there's no food, nothing to write home about. Since I was born, Gary have not reached 1,000 a mudu. If you see go Ghana, other places, if you read the price of Gary, it's not equal to 500 up till now. Other countries, very close to our neighbor, here people are staying there. Gary have not reached 1,000. But Nigeria, look at it, it's going to 2,000. Look at bees, 2,000 plus. Rice, 2,000 plus. How do you think Mark can cope? Figures are not equal. A lot of people are suffering.
The administration is not really favoring anybody. It's not only us that are selling clothes. The only challenge we are having is just customers. Like most of them that are used to this area, they will come and they will be complaining that our prices are now higher than how they used to know us here. The things we buy from the market, despite there are old things that we still buy before, but now no new product, but still the old ones, and they are still expensive.
Some of the policies that Tinubu have made is really chasing business people out of the country. You understand? We've seen the most recent one, the one that happened in Lagos State, the issue of the landmark and all that. So those are negative pointer to some of his policies, and I think for me the economy is in shambles.
The administration is not doing bad. Why I'm saying so, or why I have that feeling, is that it inherited so many challenges from the previous administrations. And so as far as I'm concerned, the administration is trying its best to try to put the wrongs, to right the wrongs, and then start on a sound footing.
The government has been responsive. One case of example is the case of one of the ministers at that time that was found wanting. So the speed to which the disciplinary action was taken, I think, brought some level of confidence on Nigerians that, of course, these people mean business this time around.
When difficulties come, like the one that is at hand, it exposes us to begin to learn how to do things on our own. We shouldn't just rely on government to survive. There are other means of survival.
Mr. President, your policies are good, but they are too harsh on every Nigerian. If they can give grants to small business owner, I think that will help a lot.
We in Abuja here, yes, we'll still find a way to survive, but most people in the village, they're really suffering. So I would suggest if they can go beyond Abuja environments, at least go to the rural places and see from people, hear their own point of view and know what the problem is, then know how to solve it. It's not that they will solve it 100%, but at least let there be a change.
There's not a time to empower praise singers. This is time to bring technocrats in the government to fix all these issues that we are all talking about.
What I expect government to do, as a matter of trying to cushion the effects of especially this removal of fuel subsidy, is to begin to look into how to provide social amenities to electorate, especially now that they are recouping from the removal of the fuel subsidy.
I want you to limit his taking the decision without consulting the majorities. That's the only few things I want to across to if you actually will listen to me advance.
We must cooperate, support what has been put in place to manage our process and transition to development. So we must stick together. This very trying moment is very, very challenging. We cannot dispute that fact, but we must continue to pray for the best.
Viewers, you're welcome back. This is still Issues in the News on 9 News Nigeria. Nnah, good to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
You have heard the voices of the masses What's your take? What's your reaction?
Well, as we all watched, different people with their different opinions on the government, and they have the right to express their opinion and all that. But if you ask me, 98% of the opinions you hear on this Vox Pop will tell you that all is not well, but there's room to improve. There's room for the government to hear from the masses. Okay, it is understood that the present government is a listening government, but yet the people are not getting it right. This is not what Nigerians bargained for. A situation where I was in the market yesterday and I was wowed to hear or to even ask that a mudu of beans today is 2,400 naira. Well, how did we come to this? That a mudu of rice today is going to 2,500 naira. What is happening? Even this morning I was at the market, just a little plate of tomato I bought for close to 1,700, and I began to ask myself, how will the common man survive? Yes, so one of the sources in the Vox Pop said that they should not give money, just empower praise singers, but they should ensure that this money go to the masses. Now, the reforms of government is something that cut across and all that. But what is the monitoring and evaluation process? A lot of things should be put in place so that Nigeria will be an envy of the world.
That brings us to the second news in our 9 News Nigerian update. The Nigerian government restarts 75,000 cash payments to its citizens. We have here the Minister of Finance, Wale Edun, has said that the federal government has restarted the provision of conditional direct 75,000 naira cash transfer to 75 million Nigerians to tackle the impact of inflation. This was disclosed on Tuesday, May 28, at a ministerial sectorial briefing to mark the first year in office of our president. Have you benefited from it before? Because this is a restart, meaning that there may have been a previous one. I have not, anyway.
Well, I've not seen or received any alert from anywhere, except from the business I do, the hard work and all that. And even the business is not even coming up again because of the harsh economic policies of the current administration. Now, the question is, it's not about restarting the grants. What happened to the previous grants? How, like I keep saying, how is it reflecting, or how has it reflected to the living standard of the common man? Why is it that you keep hearing that somebody has stolen a pot of soup? Why would you hear that in Sokoto a man sold or attempted to sell his 6 children? In Bauchi, a man attempted to sell his child 1.5 million naira. Can all these things happening? Is it just happened by accident? No, it is based on the economic policies and all that is happening in the country today. So what we are saying is that Nigerians, when you go to Bank of Industry, you go to so many other financial, there are grants to be accessed by Nigerians.
But this particular grants, I don't think you need to go through the Bank of Industry.
I'm coming to that. You're talking about restarting. Now, what is the transparency? Can you vouch for the accountability of these grants? Because what you see a situation where the ruling party and their words, they will send messages, give their people the link to getting this money and all that.
But in the news,
yes,
according to the finance minister, the government has already developed a system to ensure that the payments get directly to the beneficiaries through digital routes.
I think they should also go further by so that those that benefited should give a feedback. Yes, I benefited. I think there should be a system where there should be responses so that Nigerians, I'm talking about transparency here, Nigerians will be aware that, oh, I benefited from this money, I benefited from this money, I benefited, so that we'll see people that benefited and we hear, oh, real, and then you give kudos to the government. But a situation where even after people benefiting, how does it impact 75,000 naira in this our economy?
I begin to wonder, because I also have here in the news that the minister announced that the government has recruited mobile network operators to fasten the rollout of the scheme. What happens to the woman in the village
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now,
who doesn't have a phone,
now,
who doesn't have an NIN?
yes, that is why I said the government needs to do more. They need to do more because do you know that during electionary campaign, politicians know more villages than you do. Politicians know the villages that even the communities they don't even put on clothes. They know there. They will go there to canvass for vote. But after that, Mr. President was talking about it that after the people must have voted for these governors, they will come and stay in Abuja. They will not go back to these villages. Now there's a grant that is making rounds our country today. They call that grant the UAAG grant. Of course, the masses I think it's a foreign grant that that came to Nigeria according to sources. And this grant, Nigerians are supposed to benefit. I think 5 million naira for each Nigerian. And at the end of it all, there's going back and forth. You hear sources that
is this verified?
I'm talking about it's been verified. In fact, I know what I'm talking about. There was this. There was a time the NGOs, the CEOs, and all that they came to Abuja here. They did their verification of which I covered. I saw it. I covered it that they are supposed to benefit. That the money is lying at the CBN. Now the government is not coming out to say this is their position because even the news media organizations came to cover these events. Where is the money?
Well, where is the money? That takes us to our third news for this program. The leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, and its trade union have taken drastic action over the delay conclusion on minimum wage and have decided to embark on an indefinite strike, which is to begin nationwide on Monday, the 3rd of June. Is this a welcome development, Nnah?
Well, me, I don't propose for strike because when there is strike, you see a lot of things not going well and all that. But I think the strike issue is another avenue to send a message, a very strong message that we are not happy, that you are not being carried along in the scheme of things. What are we talking about?
Well, they're carried along because the organized labor here is rejecting federal government's offer of 60,000 naira as minimum wage.
Is that what we call carried along? Carried along 60,000 naira with the increase in price of goods and services? Do you know that if you hold 60,000 naira now and you go to the market, you will come out crying? Why am I saying this? 60,000 naira as minimum wage with the realities of the situation right now is nothing to write home about. Even though I will say here that, okay, NLC's 497,000 naira is way high, I think they should just peg it at 250,000 naira minimum wage. For me, I think it will go a long way to, solving. Because when you, as a civil servant or even as a business person or somebody that is working in the private sector, you talk about your transportation, you talk about your feeding, you talk about your clothing, you talk about your accommodation, you talk about so many things. Education, which is also the fundamental to a nation's development. So what are we saying? 60,000 naira for what? 250,000 naira. I think I would advise NLC, 250,000 is good. It's okay.
NLC, you have heard that. The federal government, this is also Nigerians reacting to this issue in the news. And lastly, in this program, we would like to take on the old, now become new national anthem. Wow. The former deputy governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Kingsley Moghalu, has weighed in on government's decision to revert to the old national anthem, saying that such a move will not address the nation's pressing challenges. He said changing the national anthem in Nigeria will not solve any of Nigeria's problem, not the least of building the nation. Nnah, can you sing the new national anthem? Can you?
It's not that, whenever I talk, it's not that I am so critical of government, but round pegs should be put in round holes. Now, when we're talking about the bringing back the 1960 anthem to the reality of the situation. Is that the most important thing in Nigeria today? Is that the key factor? Is that when you talk about Nigerians being patriotic? Yes, the national anthem is it's a very good thing and all that. But again, if the speed, I begin to imagine the speed at which the National Assembly assented to this bill, and the higher speed that the president signed this bill, National Anthem Act and bill into an act. For me, I begin to say, is this, if they will channel the same energy in, bringing, okay, they should bring back old prices of things with that level of speed. You understand what I'm saying? The speed at which they, signed this bill and assented the bill and also signed by the president, they should channel the same, bring back the old prices, bring back our forest stuff. They have what it takes, because they told us in the election campaign that they would do this. So what is stopping them? Somebody will tell me 1 year is not enough. I agree with you, but let there be a resemblance of the fact that, okay, tomorrow will be good. Tomorrow will be good starts today. When people see that things are changing and all that, I'm not so critical of the government, but this is the reality of the situation. And when you go outside there to talk about it, the common man will tell you this is it. And this is the common man that put you in power, that is voted for you and all that. Why are you abandoning them at this point in time? Okay, you have told us that your ministers are not performing. You will sack them and all that. We are yet to see that. So Nigerians need, they need to, breathe fresh air. They need something to make them get a relief and all that. They are not asking for too much. They are asking for food on their table. They are asking for small change in their account and all that. Nigerians deserve a lot. This is the giant of Africa. We can do better than this.
Thank you very much, Nnah. This is also an opportunity for us in 9 News to send a message to the government, hoping that they would hear us, because this government is a listening one. Now, do you have any particular thing?
Well, when you said this government is I learned they are a listening government. The APC government, I learned under Tinubu, is a listening government. But again, let the listening government, let it reflect on the living standard of Nigerians.
And on that note, would you like to send a particular message, hoping that you will be heard and considered?
Well, the message I'd like to, I would not say I dislike this government, but I would not also say I dislike their policies. But again, their policies should be such that in real terms, in real actual terms, it should reflect on the life. I go about, I'm a roving reporter. I go about, I see a lot of people. I see a lot of, poverty in the land. I see a lot of, there's a lot of things that people are getting angry, getting provoked. As you can see me, I'm trying to control myself. But the fact is that as a professional, I need to control myself, but a lot of things are going wrong in the country. And we call on Mr. President, not just Mr. President, and his team, his cabinet members. They should do the needful and ensure it's not when election is coming close, you see a situation where a lot of things will come down, the price of things will come down. No. People should have confidence in the government they are serving. And when they do this, you see that people will start having confidence in the government and all that. Of course, the government also have in mind to come for second term. Things should be done right. Nigerians have cried too much and so much. Please, even security is another factor that Nigerians should also have a sense of protection. This is the primary purpose of government. And when that is done, you will see that people will align with your policies. The old national anthem should not be a problem, but people should have food on their table. And when they do that, you'll see that they will sing this national anthem with every sense of, enthusiasm. Thank you.
Thank you very much, viewers. I hope you have had a nice time. The news is inexhaustible, but for lack of time, we will need to draw the curtains here. I hope to see you in our social media handles. Give me a like and drop your comments. Everything you do matters to us. You are valuable. Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear. What's it again?
Yeah, Nsidibe, I hail thee. I hail thee.
Motherland.
Yeah, motherland, yeah.
So we will learn the new national anthem until we come your way next time. It's been a pleasure having you, Nnah. I remain Nsidibe. Thank you for being with us.